here across these United States, all 50 of them. I'm here in the tri-state area. Got some broskies in New York. Got someone in Dallas, and OG is back in the Buckeye State. Larry Ridley here, SNY TV, NBC Sports, little Madden NFL, NBA 2K League as well. This is Esports Extra, folks, the only live call-in sports show talking traditional sports and esports. We'll take your phone calls live, 877-853-5247. Meeting ID, Esports Extra. That is 377-678-9872 at the pound button twice to join the show. All right, it's a beautiful Sunday, guys. July the 12th. This is Esports Extra. We're live here on Twitch, Facebook, guys, Mixer, and YouTube. Mixer for maybe, maybe another week or two. We'll see how long that lasts. At least another week. Let's bring in the broskies. We got Durham. Well, I would say where Brooklyn at, but it does not apply today. Where are you at, bro?
I am in West Palm Beach, Florida. Yeah, visiting my mom. We took off like after the show Thursday night. Took a trip, road trip, family. So.
Oh, you drove?
Yeah, we drove, man. I thought I would never do that, man.
I've done that plenty of times, dude, to Orlando. Not to Miami, but to Orlando plenty of times. It ain't easy.
You know, man, I've done it to Atlanta straight by myself, 14. But I had my son is a different animal, had him with me and my wife. Yeah. So we stopped actually in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Thank you.
Spent the night there, got a little pool in the beach a little bit, jumped back on the road last night, got in here a little bit after midnight last night. So I'm literally on E right now.
The Warrells, man. I've seen the Warrells cruising the countryside up and down the East Coast, the Eastern Seaboard. All right, let's go out to the Buckeye State, the Ohio State. OG, where you at, man? You flying with the Dayton folks?
Oh, yeah, they know how. Matter of fact, we're in the Final Four of the TBT Red Scare, so I'll be tuned in today at 4 o'clock. But yeah, just got in last night. Had a little delay. I almost missed my flight in Charlotte, but got here, so I'm glad to be here. Daughter got surgery tomorrow, so had to be here for that. And other than that, it's a great day outside.
Prayers up, man. You know we got you, broski. All the positive vibes and energy, man, going your way. Antonio, Willie, minus the hoodie today, man. You're in the DFW. How hot is it in Texas?
Man, another day where we'll probably be touching 100 or over 100. Yeah, it is. We're at that point in the summer here in Dallas where it's like that. I remember when I first came down here, I said to my mom, this was when I was at Brandeis in Boston, I said to her, nobody thinks it's weird that we're in our 10th straight day of 100-degree weather. Like, no, this is right.
I don't think it's weird.
Right. She's like, no, this is kind of on brand for Dallas. So trying to stay warm. Appreciate you guys having me again. OG, prayers to your daughter, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, brother.
Shout out to your mom. Appreciate you guys having me again.
Yes, sir. All the time, bro. Yeah, man. They like to say dry heat. And remember in Boston, it was a big deal. On the news, we used to call it a heat wave. That is 3 consecutive days of 90 degrees or more. We rarely get that here on the East Coast. That's why, man, when you're like, it's hot, it's always hot in Texas. Like, really? So
it is.
It is. Good stuff, man. Stay cool, man. Keep that AC on, man. And I'm glad to have you on the show. Guys, we're going to talk a lot of topics today. We're talking about LeBron James. We're talking about Joel Embiid and that hazmat suit. We'll get into some NFL post-game situations. They're talking about banning some situations with the NFL post-game handshakes, things of that nature, maybe even the jerseys as well. The NHL is set to return tomorrow. It's a big day for the National Hockey League. We'll have my buddy Chris Porter on live, sports director for First Coast News. It's the duopoly down in Jacksonville, ABC and NBC station. Good broski of mine. He's doing some good stuff there in Jacksonville. We'll talk a little Yannick Ngakoue, Gardner Minshew, a.k.a. Jorts. We'll talk about the quarterback from Washington State, Wazoo, the Palouse, out there in the Pac-12. Big Ten, we'll talk about the news they're making, also the Pac-12, more college football. We're going to go to Derwin's old stomping grounds, the CIAA and the SIAC also making news. Buster Posey, the first Major League Baseball, probably the biggest name in Major League Baseball that won't be playing. We'll get into that. We'll talk about the big event we did yesterday for Polk State College down in Central Florida, a very successful event, and also Compete Forever on Black News Channel. I already ran 3 times this weekend, twice yesterday, once this morning at 11. One more airing tonight on Black News Channel at 6 p.m. Heading into the weekend prime news. My buddy OG Ivan Curtis, a mug all over the TV this weekend, man.
It's like that sometimes.
Oh, there you go. It's like that.
Hey, big time of you.
I'm gonna tweet it out in a little bit and make sure.
When you hanging with Larry Ridley, man, good things like that happen. So
no, don't do that. Don't do that. You fell into that one. You guys ready to go?
Let's go.
Let's get it.
Here we go. Let's talk. First topic: LeBron James, LBJ, making some news yesterday, saying he will not sport any social justice messages or causes on the back of his jersey. You know, the NBA players, some 300, almost 300 of the 350 players that are eligible will use those social justice causes. He says he's just going to wear James on the back. That's par for the course right now. That's his last name. He talked about things not resonating for his platform and things of that nature. Didn't really like all of the options that he had. Wasn't really consulted about it. Certainly understand that. I don't think it's huge news, but you got the biggest star in the NBA. He said, "Look, I'm just going to rock James." So we'll go ahead and get you guys' thoughts on that. We'll start with the guy who's the closest to the NBA. Was it A. Willie or was it OG? It's a close one. We're going to go OG because he's affiliated right now. Right. Affiliated.
Hey, when I read about it, I mean, it was, I don't know, I guess I was kind of caught off guard because I figured he would participate to some level. I know he already took one hit on Twitter earlier this week about making going to the bubble like doing a bid. And that kind of ruffled some feathers with a lot of people because definitely going to the bubble with the elite status that he has is nothing like doing a bid. So I don't know. Like, I'm shocked to be honest. I figured he would. I figured he would participate in it. I mean, he's obviously the biggest star shooter in the world, and him not participating in it. I mean, I can understand his reasoning, but me personally, like I said, I'm shocked.
Hey, Willie, no messages for LeBron James. What were your thoughts on that? Are you okay? I mean, I'm not going to ask you, are you okay? Because it really doesn't matter if you're okay with it. Just your general thoughts on it.
I'm good with what he said when he said that, just not having the message on the back of my jersey is not indicative of what I'm doing with my platform. Mm-hmm. And I think to a certain extent, when we started having hashtags and people posting pictures on Instagram, some of the people were sort of peer pressured into doing it. Doesn't necessarily mean that they were really 100 with the cause. So that was one of my observations. And the other observation for me with LeBron as well is when he said that he wasn't consulted or didn't have a voice, I'm sure what LeBron has done.
You believe that?
Well, I'll say this.
That's the one statement I'm like, I don't know about that.
Well, I'll say this. The fact that he's not doing it makes me think that maybe he wasn't consulted because he wasn't the only player that said, hey, we weren't consulted with this. So, and so I think for LeBron, one of the things is he is, and I'm not mad at this at all. In fact, I'm happy that he does this. He has maximized his platform to the best of his ability to disseminate the messages that he wants to disseminate and control the narrative as much as possible. So when he's not consulted on something, I'm pretty sure it's kind of out of the ordinary for him. So with that being said, I don't have an issue with it. We all know what he does with his platform, and I don't think it's being dismissive of anyone. And as I said, I don't have an issue with it at all.
Durr, when you look at this, D-Dubs, LeBron James, look, he is the de facto king of the NBA. He's the GM. He's the head coach. He's a player. He is a brand. He is incorporated. Your thoughts on LeBron not taking the social messages to the back of his jersey?
Well, anytime you have an organization, like NBA, NFL, whatever it may be, you want your best player, your king, to support the cause. And it would have been nice. I would have expected him to have something on the back of his jersey. But that being said, I can't kill him for it. I can't kill him for it because he does. I got to look at his body of work, all the things that he does, that he has done. He's done plenty. But if you're the NBA, if you're the other players, you would want the king, the leader, to be along the same lines as you guys with something on the back of the jersey. But, I'm surprised that he's not doing it, but I can't kill him for it. And as far as him not, not being involved with someone not talking to him about it, that just seems kind of strange to me why you wouldn't go to your best player and say, hey, this is what we're doing. That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, and that's the one part that I did. I understand resonating with your platform because look, you got such a big platform. You should have a say in what's going on with anything surrounding you. I find it just like, why wouldn't the NBA allow more, open and free discussions in this. You look at some of the topics. There's about 20 to 25 of them, if I'm not mistaken, maybe a couple dozen. It's definitely 29. Over 20. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, look, there's plenty of room. Maybe you should have just opened it up for everything. I mean, I guess some things have to be vetted, right?
Yeah.
Really,
right.
I mean, I guess, right? Does it come down to that? But I don't think LeBron James would have anything that would be over the top that would not pass the vetting process, right?
No. And what it speaks to as well is you juxtapose that with the WNBA. They've just done a better job in terms of building that partnership with the Players Association. And it's always going to be contentious to a certain extent because we're talking about money, right? When you're talking about the CBA and negotiating those deals, everybody thinks that they should have more money, myself included. But but at the end of the day, the W seems to have done a better job overall with making sure that at least the optics say that this is a great partnership between the W and the league itself. And there have been opportunities and there have been times in the history of the NBA where the league and the Players Association have sort of fallen short. So it seems as if this may, at least from the players' perspective, this seems as if, for some of them at least, this seems as if these are one of those moments where it seemed like they kind of fell short in terms of their partnership.
Real quick, last thing. Ivan and Duro, I want to ask you guys. You don't think LeBron? Look, he still has the platform. He's still gonna go ahead and have something to say about this and use his platform and message out to everyone. Correct?
No, that's what I was gonna say. To piggyback off of me being just surprised, but then when I thought about it, I mean, he's still gonna be impactful in any way that he can. He'll have his own way about getting his points across. I mean, he's done it in the past. I mean, whether what he wears, pregame or anything like that. So I think he'll definitely get it done. And then the other thing I want to say, the W doing a better job because the women are still fighting for a lot of different things. So I think I guess I'll say risk for lack of better terms is that the risk for them is a little different. I think sometimes felt with some of the NBA players as far as their platform and sponsorships and different things like that. I just think it's a little different. And I think the women take a stronger approach to everything.
Yeah, the men have a couple more zeros, probably even a few more zeros on the end of those checks. So that does come with some heightened scrutiny, if you will. D-Dubs.
Yeah, I mean, just think about it. LeBron James, he's supposed to be the king of the NBA. He plays for a marquee franchise in the Los Angeles Lakers, legendary franchise. I mean, a name on the back of his jersey just means so much more than a name on one of the other players. It just resonates. People going to, what's the king doing? What does he have on the back of his jersey? And he's going to just have his regular name, James. So it's just different. But like I said before, I can't kill him for it because he does plenty of good for the cause. So it just would have been great, if he would have had his name on a different name on the back too as well.
Yeah, we're looking at scrimmages, guys, starting possibly next week. So guys are there. All the teams have arrived. They're practicing. So everything looks good in the bubble so far. Let's hope and hopefully for the NBA, the association, that everyone can quarantine and stay inside that bubble and keep those cases to a minimum level if we can. Let's keep it in the NBA. We saw this, Coach. Let's go ahead and cue up the video here. We saw Joel Embiid. I saw it from NBC Sports Philly, getting on the tarmac, heading to the airport, or I think he was on the tarmac, putting on the hazmat suit, full hazmat suit. I don't know if he was going to work on Ebola, coronavirus, or going to the damn moon. What the heck is going on with Joel Embiid? I know it's clown time with him. I thought it was hilarious, but dude is hot as hell, and he put the hoodie on. Wow. Like, what is Joel Embiid doing? Well, we'll go with you, OG.
I mean, we know Joel Embiid, and what he's done during this time in front of the camera. I mean, in the NBA, and of course, some can laugh about it. I mean, but obviously, this could be a sensitive time for a lot for people not looking to make a joke or anything like that. Because I seen actually yesterday in the airport, I seen a few people dressed just like that. So I mean, it's everybody's taking this. I think I would say everybody's taking it serious, but obviously other people are going to extreme, some would say extreme levels in protection. But I mean, Joel, I think I think he pretty much he's cool. I mean, I'm not saying he's invincible and not getting it, but I mean, he's a 7-footer. I mean,
right.
so it obviously looks different. And like you say, it's hot down there too, man. Just hurry up and get in and get out wherever you're going and keep it moving.
D-Dubs, how much was he trolling us? Keep it real. He was trolling, right?
He was, but you know what? This is a very serious time, and a lot of people are stressed the last couple of months. And it's stressful for the children. And we got to laugh at something. We got to have something to bring our spirits up a little bit. So,
I'm okay with that.
We wanted to get a chuckle out of people for a little bit. He's having a little fun with it in a very stressful time. So I have no problems with it. I don't know how he had that hazmat suit made. He's 7 feet tall. Not like he just pulled it off the rack. So, I mean, that's kind of funny though. But I know when he came off that tarmac, he wanted to get inside that AC real fast.
Yeah. Hey, Willie, what you thought when you saw the big man with the hazmat suit? I mean, he's been cracking jokes since the bubble started. He talked about the food and like he looked at it, he's like, I'm going to lose 50 pounds. This is Joel Embiid. And you know what? We love him for it. I don't think it went over the line, but I just want to know, dude, I mean, is it worth it to get that damn hot?
Well, it's funny when you listen to him because everybody's point, Joel Embiid is one of the best comedians in the NBA. But when you really peeled the onion and listen to some of his statements, he's actually been pretty adamant about this is a bad idea. I really don't want to do this, but I don't want to let the fans down. I don't want to let my teammates down. Don't want to let the city down. So I'm going to do it anyway. So yes, I think it's a little Dave Chappelle there where it's like, yeah, we're going to make some jokes here, but I'm going to use myself as a joke, but I'm really trying to make a point here that I don't think we should be doing this. Because if you, again, listen to some of the stuff that he's saying and that he said about playing, he has been open about this being a really bad idea. And I also think, too, when you look at that hazmat suit earlier in the week, again, I think I said this last time, Patrick Beverley had a stack of white polo tees. Okay. And he was talking about anybody needs white tees, come hit me. Get at me. And I think Joel got at him for an infinity amount of white tees to make that hazmat suit. So,
all right. Yep, in my white tee.
He's right because he said pretty much, I'm doing my job. Like, yeah, I'm going to do my job.
So, yeah, good stuff. All right, Joel Embiid, we expected that from the 7-footer. We just hope that he stays healthy. And Sixers still a dangerous team down there in the bubble. Let's go from the NBA to the gridiron, the NFL. We talked about it ad nauseum about a bunch of different things that they're facing, from stadiums to protocols for COVID, training camp, a lot of things being delayed. The latest information from the NFL is post-game. They want everyone to socially distance themselves from each other 6 feet apart during post-game. So that means no handshakes and no celebrations and no jersey swaps or jersey exchanges. It makes no sense. And if you saw a bunch of the first thing I saw when I saw it, I'm like, what? You're going to tackle each other, 60 car wrecks. You're going to hug on each other, grab on each other, hold each other, sweat on each other, bleed on each other. And then we can't spend 60 seconds taking a damn picture with the jersey? I don't know. Explain this to me, A. Willie. Maybe you're smarter than the rest of us since you went to Brandeis.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But I think it's optics, honestly, because we saw Dak Prescott when he was posting a workout with other receivers, or we saw Patrick Mahomes posting a workout with other receivers and running backs, and they're taking a picture afterwards. The optics of it, given how sensitive things are with the times that we're in, and rightfully so, I understand that. Those guys took a little bit of a beating in the media because people were saying, how could you guys be so close and you're hugging and things of that nature when we have this pandemic going on? So for me, I think it's more optics for the NFL more than anything, because again, as you just said, Larry, all the things that happen in this collision sport in football, and now you're concerned about people taking pictures, or if they get in a huddle at the 50-yard line and they pray. So again, that's about optics to me. So that's what I think it is. I think the NFL is trying to win a press conference by doing that.
Well, I think if the players were smart, maybe they'll do and use some of the tactics that we see with the right wing of this country. Use the religion as a issue. Says, hey, you can't stop us from praying. Or First, Second Amendment, First Amendment rights, Second Amendment rights, or First Amendment rights. I don't know. I mean, Durbin. I mean, this is silly. This is silly. I mean, it really is.
Well, I guess I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
I mean, because you can hug your family members, you can hug your coworkers. I mean, to me, as long as you're not in a large group of people, I'm kind of okay with that.
But think of it this way. What is necessary? They're going there to do a job, right? So tackling is part of their job. That is necessary. What the NFL wants to do is, and the NFLPA, is cut out the unnecessary stuff. Yeah, for 60 minutes on the football clock, you're tackling each other, you're dragging each other down, you're face mask to face mask. But that's necessary to do your job. But after your job is done, it's unnecessary to be exchanging jersey, to be that close to proximity. It's unnecessary to be taking pictures. The game is over, give a head nod, and go back to your locker room. Because that other stuff is extra. If you can make it through the game, yes, tackling and all, that's necessary for you to do your job. But what is not necessary is the pictures and the exchanging of jerseys. That's not necessary. So
do your job makes no sense with the post game OG. It just makes no sense. I mean, I get it. I see where they're going. Willie hit it on the head. This is all about optics, but it still makes no sense. You can talk about optics and still be dead wrong.
These guys are going to line up, breathe on each other.
Bare minimum.
The whole entire game. They're going to say a bunch of unnecessary things that cause more to come out across the line from them. So it's like, I don't know. I was kind of dumbfounded. I mean,
it's like saying you have to be socially distanced from your family members in your household.
Yeah, basically, I like what Richard Sherman said. He said basically this is a perfect example of the NFL in a nutshell. Players can go engage in a full contact game and do it safely. However, it is deemed unsafe for them to exchange jerseys, after the game. And I mean, that's. I'm right with him. I mean, like, it makes no sense. I mean, and like, in one breath, I get what you're saying, Durbin, but then, throughout the course of the game, how much unnecessary contact beyond what they're going to do.
There's a call called unnecessary roughness. That's unnecessary.
I mean, hey,
you get flagged for it. You're going to get fined for exchanging jerseys now. Going to fine you.
But you think about the pile ups and all the talking and who knows whatever else. Go coughing, anything. I mean,
we've seen spitting incidents too.
Yes, we have.
I was gonna say that, but I mean, it's just too much that's gonna go in reference to just two people standing by each other, taking a picture or anything. Like I think that's probably the least contact that's gonna happen throughout the game. So I definitely don't understand it.
I can even say maybe don't hug. But
dap up or
but exchanging jerseys, you don't even have to touch each other.
Well, yeah, you do, because you got to take the jersey.
You can touch the jersey, but hell, you can do that when you go to the grocery. You're going to the grocery store touching stuff. I'm just come on, Derwin.
But necessary, unnecessary. Why add unnecessary stuff to it? If I got it, let's say I got COVID. I got a jersey, and I take off my jersey, sign it, and give it to another player. Come on, that's unnecessary. Now he got it. I'm just saying. Tackling is necessary. It's part of your job. That's how you get paid, right? But all this other stuff is extra.
So if you're on the sidelines and you're drinking out of the water bottles, what do you do with that? Does everybody get their own water bottle now?
But there's a water boy for that.
Yeah, but you actually believe that every single time, every squig is yours. You actually believe that, and someone has to give the water and put the water in there. What I'm saying is, look, we can find holes in all of this.
But you can try to limit.
I know you can try to, but some things you just can't limit, and some things it's spending too much energy on that part than the other part. How about we get it at the beginning and not worry about the end result?
So you can't limit the jersey exchange. You can't limit taking photos. That can't be limited. So we're just going to add stuff.
I just think it's silly. I
understand.
Don't freaking play. Don't play the game if the jerseys is unnecessary, but tackling each other 60 to 70 times is not unnecessary.
That's all I'm saying.
That's all I'm saying.
But also, let's not forget this. You can't just kill the NFL. What about the NFLPA? They signed off on it. Why is no one's killing them?
That's a good point.
They signed off on this. Now the players are upset. So the players need to be mad with whoever the reps are.
That goes back to what I'm saying about their partnership again. That's exactly what I'm getting at.
That's a very good point. I think, you know what, Derwin, you won your first debate, man. Just won your first debate. I like it. All right, we're going to talk NHL, but let's go ahead and go to the phone lines, guys. Larry Ridley here, Derwin Worrell, Antonio Williams, A. Willie with the hoodie. OG Alvin Curtis, head coach of the NBA 2K League's Brooklyn Nets gaming crew. Let's go to the phone lines live here on esportsXTRA, the only live call-in sports show on Facebook, Mixer, Twitch, and YouTube, talking traditional sports and esports. We'll take your phone calls, 877-853-5247, meeting ID, esportsXTRA. That's 377-678-9872 with the pound button twice to join the show. All right, let's go to the phone lines now. Bring in a good buddy of mine. He is Chris Porter, sports director down there in Jayville for the First Coast News. That is the duopoly between the ABC and NBC stations down there. Chris Porter, I got one word for you. Duval.
What's up, baby? I thought you forgot about me, man. I'm glad you know I'm still alive, my boy. It's so good to hear from you.
Man, it's good to hear from you, man. How you doing down there in Florida, man? Because we were the hot spot up here in the tri-state, New York and New Jersey. Now Florida, you guys are taking over that lead, huh?
Yeah, unfortunately, we're in the new epicenter of this whole coronavirus pandemic. Not good, but my fam, we're healthy, we're good, we're holding up. You know, we made the adjustment. I'm not going to complain. Still have a job, still get to do what I love to do. My family's good, and you just got to be smart and wear your mask.
Absolutely, brother. Cannot echo that enough. Wear your mask, socially distance if you can. And wash your hands and wash your body and the rest of it.
Yeah.
You wash the whole body. I'm tired of everybody saying wash your hands. How about wash your body? Let's not forget that. Chris, let's talk some Jacksonville Jaguars, if you will. Your team making some headlines and some news in the last day or two. The stadium capacity. We all know, they say it's listed at 68.9, about 69,000. We know when we see the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. Jacksonville, the stadium, TIAFF stadium, can hold about 80, 85. But for football, for the NFL purposes, about 70. They're capping it at about 17,000, so 25% capacity. What went into this decision with the Jaguars and Shad Khan and everyone down there in Duval to do this?
Well, it's what we talked about a few minutes ago with this whole COVID-19 thing. They're trying to be in compliance with the CDC social distancing guidelines. That's really what it is. I mean, you can't have 60-some thousand fans in the stands and then trying to practice 6 feet of social distancing. So just trying to keep everybody safe, man. And to be honest with you, I really do hope we get to play this season, because as I can continue to see these numbers rise, and then we're in a state where we're now leading the country with these numbers, it's scary. And I'm beginning to get worried, man, because at the beginning and the end of the day, as we know, football is a contact sport. You're not going to be able to social distance on the field. So as far as the fan perspective, though, they're going to knock it down to 25%. Season ticket holders, if you want a full refund, you can request that. If you want to take your credit, roll it over to next year. And they've got different things they're factoring in as far as season ticket holders when it comes to the 8-game schedule, who will be able to, get the tickets first. And then they'll have they're hoping to have some general tickets available, but all that will come out in August.
You look at Florida down there, man, and the rise in cases, man, almost 50,000 in the last day. So those are definitely going up there. What are some of the fans saying that you run into? I know you're a popular guy down there. You talk to folks via email, out in the public. What are they saying as far as concerns heading to the game at the Jag Stadium this year? Are people pumped? Are they going to go? We know that state tends to lean a little red at times, so maybe a little more, courage, if you will, than some other states and other places.
Can I keep it 100? Can I keep it 100 with y'all?
Keep it a buck, man. Keep it a buck, man.
Sure.
We have problems getting people in this stadium before COVID-19. Let's just be 100. We're not one of the leaders in attendance year in and year out. And to the fans, and I'll say this about the fans, people are sick of seeing a losing product. This is my 11th year here in Jacksonville. We've only had one winning season. When we went to the AFC Championship game back in 2018, the entire year, this city was on fire. They're desperate for a winner. However, coming back now, looking at our roster, all right, look at our roster. Look who we have. We come off another losing season where I personally feel like the owner lied to the fans. We said after 2018, we had suffered all the injuries. We didn't have a winning season. And in 2019, that would not be acceptable. All you do is get rid of Coughlin, and then you want them to come back now during a pandemic. It's going to be rough. We're starved for sports, but people also are saying, because, you have a lot of people who kind of say, I don't believe this COVID-19 thing real. And then those same people that I've talked to are now like, man, I just had it. I know a family member who's had it, or a friend who's had it, and I don't know. And so they want to just make sure that if they do go, that the folks over at TIAA Bank Field will have the systems in place, like the sanitizing stations, things of that nature, so that they can be safe. Because nobody wants to go see a loser and get sick.
Yeah, good point. And we real quickly, Chris, we look at TIAA Bank Stadium down there. You got those pools. I remember when I was in Orlando, they put the pools in, some 6, 7, 8 years ago. Will those be open? I mean, I guess you can socially distance a little bit there, as long as I guess it's not a large party and a large group of people there. What do you think? You think those will be open?
I don't think it'll be open. And if it's open, it will probably only be open to like where you had different groups, a group. Like if me, you, and our buddy went, as long as we can be 6 feet apart in there, maybe we can do it. But I don't think it's going to be. I would say no. I would go out on a limb now and just say no. I don't think that'll be safe.
Yeah, good point. We're talking here live to Chris Porter, sports director for First Coast News down in Jacksonville, Florida, the First Coast. Live here on esportsXTRA, the only live call-in sports show talking traditional sports and esports here on Twitch, Mixer, Facebook, and YouTube. All right, let's talk Yannick Ngakoue. What's the latest with him? Franchise tag due July the 15th, so that's coming up here in about 3 or 4 days here, Chris. Are they going to keep Yannick, or are they going to trade him? What are they looking for? I'm hearing first round stuff. Here's a pass rusher, an edge guy that can still get her done in the National Football League, bro.
Love Yannick Ngakoue. He's outplayed his draft position. He's done everything the team has asked him to do. He and Shad Khan, the owner's son, had a Twitter war not that long ago, going back and forth on Twitter, where he said, you told me after the Chargers game, December, that you were going to trade me. Let's go back even a little further. Last summer, he and the Jaguars had some intense negotiations. They were trying to offer him, according to reports, $19 million a year. He wants still $20+ million a year. That did not work out. He missed about 11 days of training camp. Come back to the present. He's standing strong on the fact that he wants out. Now, if you're the Jaguars, I know that their biggest thing is they want a first-round pick if they're going to deal him. I think at this point, you're going to have to let that go because you're up against that July 15th deadline. He's already said that he does not want to be here. Even if you force him to stay this one extra year, you're going to walk away empty-handed because after the 15th, you can't sign him to a multi-year deal. So I think the Jags need to come up with a plan to try to get something for him because Yannick has made it abundantly clear, although the fans don't like how he's approached it, that he doesn't want to be here. And I can't see how you're going to ask another franchise, unless they're desperate for a pass rush, to give you a first-round pick and take on a $20 million salary, because that's what he wants, at least $20 million a year.
Holy cow. Yannick Ngakoue got some talent. In the National Football League, there's always a premium put on those pass rushers. We'll see what happens to Yannick down there in Jayville. Last question before we let you get out of here, bro, and I appreciate your time, taking some time away from the baby girl down there and your beautiful wife. Let's talk Gardner Minshew, a.k.a. Jorts, took over Duval by storm. What are the prospects for him coming into 2020? Looks like he's going to be the starter. I don't think it's going to be Chris Dobbs or Joshua Dobbs or any of the others, the other stiffs they have down there with the Jags. I mean, are they putting their lot into freaking Gardner Minshew from Wazoo, the Palouse?
Listen, the other two quarterbacks that you named, if I went to a sports bar, they wouldn't know them. So you know that they're going to ride Gardner Minshew. The Jaguars general manager David Caldwell, Doug Marrone, their jobs, we think, are on the line if this guy doesn't have success in 2020. And I say I think because when we first talked, I told you about after losing last year, they were supposed to clean house and just got rid of Coughlin. I like Gardner Minshew. One thing, because I do this morning thing every Monday morning of the football season with our morning show, and when he came
Porter's Place, right? It's called Porter's Place, right?
Yes, Porter's Place.
See,
yes,
I keep up with my boys.
Thank you, man. Your niece is on that too. My daughter, she.
Yes,
that's all they talk about now. My daughter, they don't even talk about me.
That's why the ratings are high. You know what you're doing. Put the baby on the TV.
Hey, that's the key, man. You got a beautiful kid, bring them on. But with Minshew, as I was saying, I was telling the morning they were so hyped. He won a couple of games. Listen, when the NFL gets a second chance to look at you, and I said, let me bring it home for those people who are not sports enthusiasts. It's like when the Wildcat came out down in Miami several years back, and for a couple of few weeks, it was the bomb. But once those coordinators get an opportunity to scheme and all that kind of good stuff, if you're not the real deal, your weaknesses will be found out. Now, when Minshew had his second time around, played teams for the second time, all that scrambling and running around and improvising is cute, but it doesn't last long term. You still got to read defenses, make decisions. In his defense, his offensive line was garbage. He really didn't have many weapons. I mean, DJ Chark, he emerged last year. I think they'll do better this year. The Jags claim they feel like the strength of their team, and when I tell you this, don't hang up on me, but this is what they say. The strength of their team is the offensive line.
Okay.
Now, I'm still confused about that part. Maybe I don't know something, but it needs to be, because that dude is going to need some protection. And we hope he takes the next step in year 2. They went out and got some receivers in the draft. I like that LaVista Chenault kid out of Colorado. He just got to stay healthy, physical kid. So we'll see. But they are riding. Their jobs are riding on Gardner Minshew's back.
We'll see. Hey, man, it's hard to trust a guy in jorts and a mustache like that, but we'll find out. Derwin, OG, Antonio, any questions for Chris Porter before we let him get out of here real quickly, guys? Go.
Hey, Porter, so what do you think that the Jaguars' record is going to be with Gardner Minshew?
Let's see, virtual practices, him been on the field, Before all that, I said 5'11". Let me see. Well, let's look at the plus side. Jake Gruden, Kim, he's supposed to be an offensive. He did decent with the guy when he was in Cincinnati, Andy Dalton. So I said 5 wins before all this. Virtual COVID-19, 2, 3 and 13.
Yeah.
Wow. So that means a whole lot of people gonna get fired at the end of the year.
Maybe, brother. Around these parts, sometimes 5-11 is great. Yeah. At least that's what it seems like,
That's true for a franchise that's only really had success a couple of years. 2017, I was there, 99 when they lost to the Titans in the AFC Championship game. So, and 2007, they went to the playoffs when I was in Boston when they ran into the Patriots in that buzzsaw. But, a few glimpses here and there. But Chris, man, really appreciate it, brother, man. You are the man. Thank you, dude. I really appreciate your friendship. We'll be reaching out to you during the season when there's any news about the Jaguars. Is that cool?
Hey, Larry, before I go, yes, I'm always here for you. My daughter's about to be 5 in January. I'm going to call you out on your show. You hadn't even seen it yet. Do better, my brother, but I love it.
Wow.
What's up?
Hey, next time I'm down in Orlando, man, I got to get up to Jayville. I promise you, dude, I'm going to come see you, bro.
All right, thank you guys for having me on the show. You guys be blessed and have a great week.
All right, thank you.
You too, man.
That's a funny man right there, Chris Porter. That's my brother right there from another mother. Sports director down there, First Coast News. The duopoly, the NBC and ABC affiliate in Jayville, as I like to say down there, Duval. Guys, your thoughts. OG, let's get you in here, bro. Your thoughts on Jag Stadium, Yannick Ngakoue, or Gardner Minshew?
I mean, this is kind of, we had talked about the stadium, stadiums during the week. Everybody's doing their best to try to get as many bodies in there as they can safely. And just following protocol. I just thought it was hilarious because he kept it a buck. He was,
kept it a buck.
And that's something to think about, because a lot of stadiums, like, they don't lead the NFL in attendance, and it's not, I'm sure the attendance is okay in a lot of franchises who not winning, but now, man, it would be, I don't know, I think it would be pretty bad if you only covering 25% and then yet and still maybe only 10% show up. Like, I think that would be,
That's very possible.
Yeah, I know. So,
that's like tarping off the entire stadium, 80% of it, and you still can't sell it out.
Yeah, so that it made me focus on that. As far as I can't say his name as well as you can, but
Yannick Ngakoue.
Yeah, it's getting. I mean, obviously, it's been getting a slugfest in that situation, and I don't know. I mean, he wants out and different things of that nature. I mean, so I don't know. I mean, he's a valuable player. I mean, he's been very durable. I mean, numbers is good and everything like that. So I seriously doubt. I mean, if he goes anywhere pending. I mean, especially doing all that, and that's pretty much. I mean, that's pretty much all I got to say about the Jaguars.
Hey Willie, yeah, I know there's not a lot to say, but that was important with them making news, and then Yannick Ngakoue, probably one of those biggest names with the free agents coming up. So, Coach K, we sit around every day and we're thinking at the last minute, damn, who are we gonna get on the show tomorrow? And I'm like, I don't know, man. I haven't time to think about it. So let me look through my phone, and I'm like, oh, Jaguars. Let me call my boy Chris Porter. So you know how this can be. Hey Willie, your thoughts on the Jaguars?
Wait, Larry, did you just flex on us, man, with your Rolodex?
Dude, it ain't that impressive.
You just flexed on us, man.
It ain't that,
right?
It ain't that impressive, dude. I mean, I've been doing this for 18 years. I should know at least a few people on TV.
All right, Larry's.
He got the same guys in his Rolodex.
No,
I can call Durham and like, call Chris Porter or Darren Haynes.
I know Darren. I know Darren.
Hey, if you're black on TV, me and Derwin know you. Pretty much.
See, that's what I'm talking about. We need that fellowship. But see, Larry, you just you say, all right, Coach K, this is light work here. Let me see what's going on. I already know what it is. I already know what it is. So I like to say, with respect to Gardner Minshew, I would be interested to see what the Jags and what their plan is with Leonard Fournette, because he had.
We were going to talk about that, but I said I'm only going to keep you 5 to 10 minutes because I know he's doing something with the fam. That was going to be the fourth topic, but I said, you know what? The other three are a little bit more important than Leonard. But you know what? He is on the list. You're right about that.
No, for sure, because I would say and Chris was alluding to their offensive line. Leonard had a career year in his third year in the league and recommitted himself and all those things, and actually almost quadrupled his receptions out of the backfield, career high in rushing as well. So if that offensive line is what it is, and the league is sort of caught up to Gardner Minshew, what does that mean for Leonard Fournette, who is going into a contract year, right? So I look at that and I wonder, I think they're going to rely on him heavily. And what does that mean for him going forward? And does he say, I know there's been rumblings before, but does he say, you know what? Put me on that list with Yannick. I'm out of here, right? So
he's basically said that. I mean, he's going into that last year, man. So I mean, how running backs are, man. They get that first 4 or 5 years out of you, and then it's like, what else is left? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
D-Dubs, your thoughts on Jaguars before we move on to the National Hockey League?
So much to unpack. First with the stadium.
With the Jaguars?
With the stadium, first off, if they're only allowing, say, 17,000, that fan base, I can see 5 showing up. I can see it not filling up. Yeah, I mean, because they're not like, say, the Ravens or somebody or the Cowboys that are gonna pack. They can't wait to get rid of the tickets. And Jacksonville, people might not even show up. Yeah. If you only allow, that could look bad, just like OG said. That's one.
Especially if they close the pools. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
That's number one.
That's the one they got at TIAA Bank.
Yeah. And then Yannick Ngakoue, it seems like that bridge has been burnt. They got to deal him. Yeah. You're not getting a 1 for him. You can hang that up. No one's giving you a 1 for that guy. Get your 2. If you can get something else, a 2, a second, and maybe something else, be happy with it, move on. And then on his end, I'm not paying $20 million for that guy. I'm not paying 20 for Clowney.
How do you turn down 19 million when really all you want is 20, 21, 22? I don't know if I believe that. Like, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
No,
I mean, he just wants out of there.
Yeah, he wants out. Definitely,
Damian Clowney wanted out too, and look what he's looking at now.
Look at that.
He ain't gonna come close to that. I bet you goes to New England for about 8 or 9.
If New England is
we'll be talking about that again, right? Like, good gracious.
You need pass rushers in this game. Pass rushers don't grow on trees, and they're needed. But right now, nobody's overpaying for these guys. I'll take Ngakoue over Clowney, me personally, because I think Clowney's always hurt. And then Clowney, you don't know how many games he's going to play. And then he's not a lineup every down on the end and get the quarterback. He's not getting you 10 sacks. So for me, I want a guy that's going to give me at least 10 sacks. He's going to put the quarterback on the ground.
If you're gonna invest and pay some money, I agree. Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a fair number.
Yeah. And Clowney's not doing that, and then he's always hurt. But
well, you know what it is. It's that one hit against South Carolina against Michigan, and it's the potential. You know
he's still living off of that. The potential ain't gonna do you nothing but get you fired at the end of the day.
Potential gets coaches fired.
Get you fired.
Absolutely.
I'm not dealing with that guy. And then when you get to Jacksonville, the team itself, they need to build this team around Fournette. Period. They need to run the football. I noticed last year they were forcing passes to him, and he's never been known as a pass catcher, but he did very well. They kept him on the field for 3 downs. Build around him and take some of the pressure off Gardner Minshew. That's what they should do. But who knows what Jacksonville's organization.
What they should do is you know how sometimes the NFL players will wear the cutoff pants at practice. They should let Gardner Minshew do that. Maybe he'll turn into like a superhero. Maybe he'll play better if he can walk around with the cutoff, shorts or the jorts, and maybe he'll play better, put up bigger numbers. But I'm with you. Like Chris hit it right on the head. He played well for about 2 or 3 games, and then it's like, okay, they got tape on you now, dog. They figured him out. It's like
Kyle Allen.
It's like Zach.
Kyle Allen.
Yeah, Carolina, exactly.
It's Kyle Allen.
I think is he in Jacksonville? I think, right?
No, the backup is it? He might
Dobbs?
be.
He said Dobbs.
It's Dobbs and Leuston. Some kid named.
Let's look it up when we get. I think. Okay, you might be right. Maybe he's still in Carolina, but I thought he may have gone to Jackson. But you're right. But anyway, I think Carolina was like 4-1 or 5-0 or something.
Right.
And then it was like. I think he won 1 more game the rest of the year.
Right. Hold on. Didn't the backup that was in Carolina, didn't he follow up to Washington with Ron Rivera? Who's their backup?
That's a good point.
I think
Kyle Allen might be there.
I think Allen might have went up there.
That's a good point. We'll look it up. One of us is right. We got 3 different answers. Somebody's right.
But that's what happens when you going to Jacksonville, when you award a team to a city as a favor. Right. Sure. Like it's got to, and it's crazy to think about. You have a multi-billion-dollar entity and it's given to somebody as a favor.
Well, they probably should have put that. They probably should have put that team in Orlando, but you would have some of the same problems. It's such a transient place,
right?
With people being from different areas. Big market. It's actually way bigger than Jacksonville, but and plus it's only like 75 miles from Tampa, so you got that problem too. It's just weird. Florida it's weird. It's like the second or third biggest state in the union, maybe, but it's just so weird when it comes to sports. They're just not, because it's so transient. You got so many people from the East Coast and West Coast, and over here, they don't have any allegiance to that area, and nobody's really from there. I remember when I lived in Miami, not a lot of people were from Miami-Dade County. Almost half the people were never even born there. So those are some of the
same problem that the Hawks have.
Well, Atlanta, that's a different story.
But
more local people.
The Dolphins at one point in time, remember in the 80s, where they were, people came, you built the winner. Yeah.
And see, and that's the point. They must win to sustain success. They're not hardcore diehards. That's the problem. They're front runners. LA's got some of that, but they got way more people that they can kind of get away with it. Because you look at Orlando's got maybe 2 million people. Jacksonville's got maybe 1 million. And then LA's got like freaking 10 to 15 million, I'm saying, in the metro area. So that's a little different. That's why you can sort of get away with that front running status. Let's go to the NHL. We missed out on this before Chris called in. Get you guys' thoughts. It looks like the NHL, they got this CBA ratified, I think until 6 more years, right? 2026. Teams can report. Training camps start to open tomorrow, guys. We're going to get hockey. The hub cities, those 22 teams, right? Is it 24? 24. I think 24 teams. 24 teams go to the hub cities. I think next week, the 26th, by the 26th. And then the season is going to start somewhere around August 1st or that first week of August. So it looks like we're going to get hockey. The hub cities will be, we thought Las Vegas would be one, but I guess the cases are going up in Nevada. And it went from Toronto. Canada basically saying, America, we don't want your problems to. We're going to take all of your problems.
Smart.
Now it's Edmonton and Toronto, the 2 hub cities. You guys' thoughts on the NHL? It took them some time to work this out. Looks like the plan is okay. And you look at the COVID test, their positivity rate is way low. So that's a good sign.
I think I love it. I love me some NHL. I think NHL playoff hockey is the best. But
no question.
Canada, they They don't want our mess. So I think they were smart to put it in Toronto and Edmonton. But I don't know. Maybe it's me. I think they have a good chance. We don't know if anyone's going to finish the season. We know everyone's making plans to start. And I think I'm giving the NHL a good chance to finish, being that they're going to be in Canada.
They're talking about a maximum of 62 days. So if you start in August, you're done by end of September, early October. I think that's a good shot.
Yeah, I think they can get it done as long as they keep their little bubble up there. You know, I've never been to Edmonton, but here's a nice place. And I don't know how many people are in Edmonton. I know Toronto's a big city.
Toronto's the biggest city in Canada.
The biggest city in Canada. So I think they got a good shot. So it'll be interesting to see. But the fact that they keep keeping everything up there in Canada, I think is one of the best things they could have done.
I'm with you. I was surprised they went to Edmonton. It's not a small city, but it's way smaller than Montreal, even smaller. It's about the size of Ottawa. I thought maybe Vancouver. Maybe you go opposite ends of the country. Vancouver's nice. It's metropolitan. It's right near Seattle. Beautiful city. But I mean, I guess they're going to Edmonton. Toronto definitely, of course, made sense. Hey, Willie, what's up, bud? What you think?
No, I think it's interesting that they did take the mess, as you said, Larry. One of the things that they've been able to curtail some of their cases, because again, I don't want to get on my political soapbox, but they have
kept us out.
But they also have universal health care. Everybody can go to the doctor, right? So that is very important.
You know what? Don't apologize for that. Those are called facts. Big facts.
Right. Everybody could go to the doctor. So the fact that they were able to take it to a city, to a country where everybody can go to the doctor isn't as populous as the United States.
Sure.
And
way smaller.
For the most part, the people that are there are they abide by the rules that are provided. So with that being said, I think it was a very smart move for them to do that, and to have that luxury to do that is probably a good deal for the NHL and for the players and the league and the people of Canada as well.
OG, I've been to Canada a few times. Very safe. I've been to Montreal and Toronto a few times. Very safe country. I never felt threatened or anything there. Very nice people. I like to go when the dollar's kicking butt up there, to really make some hay up there. Your thoughts on the NHL, the hockey league, going back to old Canada, where it all began? I think it's the first time since like 1925 where everything's going to be played. The whole postseason is going to be played in Canada.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much all of y'all hit everything. They, like I said, they left us out. I mean, I think Las Vegas was in there for
Chicago,
Chicago, and different other places in the U.S. But I think
St. Louis, I believe.
Yeah, but from the safety aspect of it, and even A. Willie brought up the healthcare, the universal healthcare. I think it's I don't know. I mean, I think it's a good plan. I mean, I'm sure for the players as from the U.S. may feel a little different, everything like that. But I just think overall, maybe we can learn some practices from this too, because it's going to be the only pro sport that's going to be taking place basically outside the U.S. So I mean,
of the four majors,
the four, yeah. So it's like, I don't know, maybe we can learn some different practices and different things like that, depending on the success from it. And I think Derwin said a key. We can easily get excited about these sports starting, but finishing is definitely a big part of it. Right. Let's see how it goes. I mean, I'm gonna be intrigued. I admit I haven't watched hockey.
I'm gonna sit back and watch everything.
I'm watching everything.
Like, no question, no doubt about that.
I was watching the basketball tournament the other day. I'm watching everything.
Oh yeah. So I mean. Especially it makes it good for us now because on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays we're gonna be talking about.
Yeah, baby. Hey. And you know what? It's easy to book guests when there's so much stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? You know how we've done it these last 3 months, dude. Like I look back, like we filled 3 months of shows during a pandemic. How did we pull that off? I don't know, dude. I have no idea. But that's a good point. Go ahead, OG. Final thoughts.
Going to 25% of that Rolodex.
That's exactly right. Exactly right.
Covering the spread.
Hey, good point there. I will say this: you look at Canada, Toronto, and Edmonton. both have stadiums named after big banks up there, Scotia Bank. They are banking that there are no issues going on in Canada. I pray that they're not. I think the NHL, looking at their plan and looking at their testing rates and things of that nature, they've got a shot because this thing, like I said, maximum 2 months. I think they've got the best shot of any.
Let me add something.
And plus, it's cold, you know, in the hockey and things of that nature. So, yeah.
And they're the most, I mean, in some cases, I mean,
no fans either.
They're the most protected. I mean, for equipment and different to a certain extent. I mean, mainly goalies, but I mean, you know, they are covered. I mean, more than any other sport. I mean, so, and I think you know, with the TBT going on, because it's actually our first live look at basketball and the physical nature and different things like that. You know, it was teams that had to obviously be pulled, but since it started, you know, here we are at the Final Four and things like that. So we haven't had any, you know, hiccups, so to speak, with that, and that's a good sign in itself. I think they're obviously handling it the right way and taking care of it, and people are being responsible.
And they had a plan. I mean, like I said, some guys, you know, weren't able to play because of testing issues and the positive test and things of that nature. But they had other teams waiting in the wings. And like you said, they're down to a Final Four. The Final Four going on today. Let's move from hockey back to college football, or first time to college football. OG, we'll start with you. Your neck of the woods, the Big Ten. A cascade of events coming. Thursday, the Big Ten making the announcement. Conference only schedule, so no out-of-conference games. And then you look at the Pac-12. They followed suit. We all know about that. We'll get into that. And then we got some other conferences as well. We'll start with you in the Big Ten. Your thoughts on the Big Ten, basically saying the quiet part out loud, because the ACC and the Big 12 and also the SEC, they're talking about we need to make a decision by the end of the month, but they're all worried right now. I know Sankey said last night, I'm extremely concerned, very high, concerns right now, that I don't know what we're going to be able to do this college football season because of the numbers. They're hoping and praying that we start this trend downward in the next few weeks, or there might not be college football, guys. They better do something better happen by next month. Go ahead, OG.
Nah, I agree. And the first thing I thought about, as much as we've been talking about the big bad SEC, once you start getting outnumbered with a specific plan, it's almost to a point where you have to follow suit at some point. I know they're talking about, wanting to eliminate the long distance travel and things of that nature, which perfectly makes sense. You said something, I think last week, about how we going to get a national champion if everything goes according to plan. If
they're talking maybe as low as 6 games to a maximum of 10. Like, can you imagine playing 6 conference games and then trying to field a daggone playoff team? They might have to expand it. I don't know what the hell they're going to do.
Exactly. I mean, and it's to the point where a lot of these conferences don't get respect anyway. So, I mean, yeah, they're the Power 5. But obviously the SEC is the pinnacle, and then you can go downward a few conferences. But after that, it's like, not being able to play a full schedule is normal. I know that's going to have an extreme impact on whatever process they choose to have a championship playoff or game or however you want to put it. I mean, if we have to, before I think all of us in here, we recognize what it was like before the BCS, when they was just basically, you win a bowl and, you finish number 1 and they crown you the champion. And it's almost seemed like to some point we may be on the verge of experiencing that this year. I mean, hopefully that it won't be consistent. I mean, because I think we've came a long way in the process, but definitely with certain conferences kind of have their mind made up, and then others is kind of, on the bubble, so to speak. It's just going to be interesting to see, like you say, if it starts, and then what happens after that.
Sure. We saw the dominoes started to fall, Antonio, on Thursday. Your thoughts with the Big Ten being the first one to say, hey, we're going to do this conference only, guys, and everyone else is going to follow. And I'm pissed now because I can't see my Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders come up here to Hartford and beat up on UConn. Damn it, I was looking forward to that.
For me, I think a couple things here. I think number one, it's exposing the antiquated model of big time college athletics. And because if you are going to risk having these players play football in a stadium and the students aren't being on campus, then it's hard to call those players student athletes, right? So I think that's one of the things that it manifests for me. And then the second thing that it makes me think about also is you've heard these rumblings of an appetite for the power conferences, maybe 64 to 70 schools, almost separating and doing their own thing. So when you're seeing them playing just conference games only, they were going to play a national championship. Well, that's just going to involve those power conferences only. So with that being said, I think it's starting to move toward us seeing the power conferences moving away and doing their own thing separate from the other teams in the NCAA. This gives a little bit of a glimpse of it for me.
Yeah. Derwin, your thoughts? Big Ten? Yeah, not going to play out of conference games this year. We touched on it a little bit on Thursday. The news was breaking as we were getting on. So your thoughts on this, bro?
Everyone's going to follow suit, so CIAA, SIAC, there's going to be more teams to come. And I was listening to a program, and you're kind of seeing what power does the NCAA really have? Because these conferences are doing their own thing. SEC, ACC, Big Ten, they're all going to do only conference play, and they're strong enough that they can do that. Are they still going to have a national champion after all of this is said and done? I think what they're going to do, what they should do is conference-only games, do the minimum that you have to do to be eligible for NCAA championship play.
What is that?
And I think that's about 7 or 8 games.
Yeah, it's somewhere around there. I'm hearing a minimum of even 6.
Yeah,
this year.
And if you could just do that, that makes you eligible for tournament play, and it gives you some leeway. It opens up the month of September. You don't need to get 6 games in. You don't need 3 months to do it. It allows you to get your games in. Hopefully, you get your games in, and no one really gets sick. You don't lose a lot of players, and that's what they're trying to do. And it's kind of funny how I was listening to a program where they said, they don't want to pay the players anything. They want to keep all the money to themselves. But now it's like, these schools need the players to make money. Mm-hmm. They need them because some of these teams, some of these schools, football is all they have. That's their revenue. So yeah, they might not have the students. They might do virtual with them, but they want the players. They want these football players on the football field. And also there was a notion about possibly, canceling fall sports or actually canceling football and thinking about doing it in the spring. I don't see how there's any way that that's possible. They can play football in the spring because guys are not going to play in the spring. It's just not going to happen.
Well, so, not if you have any sort of draft stock. You're absolutely right. So
no doubt.
And then it could be. Could you imagine going to like Wisconsin or Maine or somewhere in the north in freaking February? Like really? Like.
I know it as a basketball player. You don't want to deal with that as a football. You don't.
No.
You don't want those problems.
But also, nobody from Alabama, LSU, the quarterback at Clemson, they're not playing in the spring. They're not jeopardizing. They're not jeopardizing their draft stock. Going to the combine and the draft. They're not fooling with that. So you put an Alabama team out there in the spring, you're going to have nobody out there.
They be calling us. Larry, can you flex and get us out there, Larry?
Or maybe this gives the people, some of these lesser schools a shot. Could you imagine Alabama going up, north playing somebody in 0-degree temperatures? Hey, maybe that evens things out. I don't know. We'll see about that. Real quick, let's touch on the Pac-12. Pac-12 and the Big Ten sort of, connected here at the hip a little bit. I mean, you look at the schedule here. Michigan State's supposed to play Washington. The big game was Ohio State against Oregon. I know Wisconsin was going to play like Miami. Notre Dame plays USC all the time. First time they won't play since like World War I or II. So a lot of things affected with the Pac-12, and also Notre Dame won't get to play Stanford as well. Just your thoughts on the Pac-12. Once again, it's just a domino effect. Things are setting into place. So we'll see how this thing turns out. The ACC is scheduled to meet this week. The Big 12 meeting is this week. I believe the SEC is meeting this week. No decisions, I'm told, are not going to be made this week, but they have to make something in the next 2 weeks. So it's coming.
Yeah, this is a little bit off topic, but you mentioned Notre Dame, and I've been a big proponent. Notre Dame has gotten away without beating in a conference for decades. They're so uppity over there. They don't want to be in a conference. Now everyone's going to conference play. They don't have a conference to play in. Now,
and Swarbrick is like unlike the college football playoff committee and stuff, or he's dealing with some of that stuff. It's like,
yeah,
I mean, Dame, man,
Yeah, and I'm hearing that the ACC would allow them to play in their conference. With that shit, I think that they shouldn't. But make Notre Dame play in the conference like everybody else. I mean, it drives me nuts. They should be. I wouldn't be upset if they left out in the cold, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen to them. But I mean, right now Notre Dame doesn't have a conference, and you need you should be in a conference. Period.
Antonio, you look at the Pac-12, and I looked at a school like Hawaii that plays a lot of Pac-12 schools. They're screwed. I think they play like 3 or 4 of them this year, and it's like, man, what are you gonna do, man? Like, I mean, Hawaii already to play a Pac-12 school. That's like a 2-3 hour flight.
Right.
No, more. It's more like 5 or 6.
It's about 6.
Because because flying from the East Coast to the West Coast is 5 to 6 hours, and flying from the West Coast to Hawaii is another 5 to 6 hours. You're right.
Yeah. So when you go Honolulu to LA, that's a 6 hour flight.
Yeah. I did it from LA to LA to Kauai, and Kauai back to San Fran. You're absolutely right. Holy cow! 6 hour flight just to play your closest opponent.
Right, but to get that revenue, right? To get that revenue. So to your point, that's going to be a tough pill to swallow for them. I'm not surprised by the Pac-10 making this move, and I think what we're seeing is these teams are looking to do conference only games. Again, they are trying to do, as everyone has been saying, they're trying to do everything they can to get a little bit, to realize some of that revenue. And so we're going to do conference games only. We're going to do everything we possibly can in order to play these games. And then some of the coaches are actually split about spring football. Some of them are yes. And then Lincoln Riley was saying we need to explore every single option that we possibly can to have football. If that includes spring football, then so be it. Right. So again, as everyone has said here, we got to follow the money. And I think, as I said before, I really believe that we're starting to see the sort of justification for these power conferences to move on and do their own thing, because they, as Durham was saying, as I was saying earlier, they really don't need the NCAA.
Sure. So we need the NCAA to step up and provide some standards. They're not. They're leaning on the conferences, and that's why you see the conferences sort of being the standard bearers there and coming up with the structure and all of the protocols.
Right. And, I would say with the Pac-12, I think it was 2010, so almost 2 years ago, when we were 10 years ago, when we were having that conference Armageddon, where something like 8 teams from the Big 12 were going to go to the Pac-12.
Yeah.
If that would have happened, we probably would have seen the beginnings of
16.
Right. Seen the beginnings of those power conferences doing their own things. We probably would have seen it sooner. But again, the pandemic is really exposing the model. You look at, like, say, SEC, you look at Alabama, no problem with this because they don't hide behind it. They make sure that Nick Saban and the football program has every luxury that they possibly can. And the reason why they do that is because they want to attract out-of-state tuition, right? Because we can't measure how many students apply to a school because they want to go to those football games, unless you put it on the application itself.
No, so schools are all about enrollment. That's where their money is. It's all about enrollment.
So exactly. So they get that out-of-state tuition from those students that want to go to those football games, and then they take that revenue and disperse it around the state how they see fit. Sure. So they don't hide behind it. And so again, back to what I was saying about having players play football and no students there, I just really think it really exposes the model of student athletes.
Sure. OG, get you in here real quickly. Every school that plays a Power 5 that loses a game loses about $1 to $2 million. I know Middle Tennessee, in their 4 non-conference games, they always play at least three Power 5 schools. And hopefully every year we hope that we can beat one of them because that's their payday. When I was playing in the mid-90s, hell, I think Texas A&M paid us $500,000. That was a lot of money back then. We went to Illinois. We played, Nebraska. A lot of these teams, and we were getting like $500,000 25 years ago. So now these schools are getting $1 to $2 million. You do that 3 or 4 times, That's your athletic budget, dog.
No question. I mean, and really it's funny because I think between the three of y'all pretty much hit every point. I think for me, just to sum it up, it's always interesting when we talk about the NCAA and everything surfaces obviously back to the dollar. And it's pretty interesting for something that's supposed to be not for profit. So,
well, the NFL is not for profit either.
I mean, so it's always interesting when we're speaking about whether or not we're going to see conferences play or teams play, and it has to do with money, and you know, so that's basically the common denominator. That's what's going to dictate everything. And like you say, I always think about it, and I'm sure, and I'm gonna speak more on it on our next topic. Is like a lot of schools depend on that money.
Sure,
and
absolutely.
if they can't get the money, then boom, there goes their whole athletic budget. You know, so, and some of them are barely making it as it is. So I like what A. Willie said about Alabama, because they pull out the stop. They don't, there's no blanketing nothing over there. I mean, and they go about it the right way and getting not only the dollar, but they get the best players that obviously, money can produce. They keep it on a lighter term, but yeah, this I don't know. I think what we at 40% of the Power Five is talking conference only, and everything. So
and the other 60% are meeting about it this week.
Yeah,
exactly.
So all that is, it's gonna tip.
And they've
over.
given themselves a deadline till the end of the month. So by my math, you got like 2 weeks. Figure it out.
Yeah, man. I think it's gonna tip over, and that's what we're gonna see, and people are gonna find a way to count their coins another way.
Yeah. Well, you look at it. I will say this: the TV dollars. They're looking at it like this. They can renegotiate with these TV networks because some money is better than no money. Everybody's losing. Everyone's hemorrhaging right now. I'll take 8 or 9 or 10 or 6, whatever, 6 to 10 conference games. Exactly. 6 to 10 conference games. Put them whatever the hell we can put them in and play them, and everyone will make some money. So look, maybe you don't get, maybe Alabama or something, these large athletic departments, they make maybe $50 million a year. Hell, 25, 30 million is still better than no million. So we'll see how that.
In fact, you're saying million.
Up. Oh yeah,
right.
If you're Alabama and you can pay another team,
you see it, OG,
to pay you, that tells you got some other millions in your pocket.
There it is.
Let's go to some schools that don't have a lot of millions. Durham Worrell, product of the CIAA. What is that? The Central Intercollegiate Athletic Association, and the SIAC, Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference, I believe. No football, no fall sports at all. Sad. Not surprised by this at all for these conferences that represent, historical Black colleges and universities. We'll start with Derwin. He is a product of the HBCU. You hinted on it the last couple of weeks. Became official, I believe, Friday. So we sent it in the group text. We're like, hey, Derwin, you're right. Here it is, man.
Yeah, all the presidents, they get together, they talk, and I mean, they want to keep people safe. And at this point, they're going to lose money. Everyone's losing money on enrollment,
Do you think it's all about safety, or it's a little bit of both, but let's not get it twisted. It's probably, we're going to lose money either way, but probably lose less money by not playing.
You're probably right.
Okay. I'm just because most people are thinking, they're like, how much is this about safety? Or it's a lose-lose, but this is the lesser of two evils. We'll probably lose X amount of dollars if we play, and we'll only lose X amount of dollars, a little bit less if we don't play at all.
And then you had to factor in everybody.
No fans and no TV. I don't know how the hell they make it.
Yeah, well, everybody right now with all these schools, well, most schools on the lower levels, they're trying to figure out how we're going to teach. Like, how are we going to have enrollment? Where are we going to have a full campus? Are we going to do virtual? And how are we going to do this? They're still trying to figure that stuff out, with school and stuff. So, if you're not going to have a full campus, you're not packing the stadium. They were only going to do conference only at first.
You only pack it maybe once for homecoming. That's about it.
Homecoming. People are upset about classic homecoming. I mean, Virginia State plays Norfolk State for I forget, it's the Norfolk Classic, not Norfolk Classic. I forget the title of it, but they play a classic around Labor Day every year. And it's always a huge game. And if you don't know, Norfolk State used to be a part of the CIAA with Hampton, and Norfolk State is the sister school to Virginia State. Norfolk State was derived from Virginia State. So it's a huge game in the Tidewater area. And that was canceled. So it's a big blow to CIAA, SIAC, not to have any sports at all. But at the end of the day, it's safe for everyone because month by month, we don't know what's going to happen. It's just not worth it financially either.
Willie, to play games and lose money or to play no games and lose a little bit less, which one?
I think, especially when you wrap it in safety, I think the best option is probably to play no games and lose less.
And then you can hide behind safety.
Yeah, and then the other thing as well, D, you got to correct me if I'm wrong. And shout out to Petersburg. Are people getting
Petersburg?
Are band people getting scholarships at V State?
I don't know how too many guys get band scholarships.
They did say they are going to honor all scholarships though this fall.
I did.
I was worried about that, and that's what I was going to say with them not playing. If you have people that and you know with the HBCUs and that's all in our blood. We're all alumni of HBCUs, whether we attended them or not. You know the bands that's a big part of the culture. And so for students to not have that platform, or if their scholarship money was going to be affected because we weren't going to have games, then I was really thinking about that. So that's why I wanted to ask that question, because to me, that would have been deeper than just the players competing. It's scholarships as well for those people that are performing at halftime. And as I said, in our culture, those HBCU halftime shows are, you know, the PWIs have ripped some of the stuff off, right? So, so that culture is big, and I was really concerned about them. And as Dee said, the big thing is how we're going to have class in general, and making sure that the schools are really able to provide that online element if that's the way that we're going, and being equipped to do that. Because as I was finding out, and I was dumbfounded and sad, but a lot of the HBCUs weren't prepared for that when the pandemic hit. And it was really, really sad for me to hear that.
Oh, they were suffering with digital resources. Bring in OG, your thoughts on this. I know Virginia State and some other schools, it's going to be a hybrid, some kids on campus, some online only. But, you know, you're not going to see a lot of, kids sharing rooms. It'll be just one person to a dorm room. So it's going to be totally different. At the best, you'll see maybe half the campus full or something like that. But you won't see what we've seen in the past for certain. OG, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough because, you know, a lot of the HBCUs, I mean, they counting every dollar. They depending on every source of revenue that comes in. And obviously a lot of schools are going to be impacted. And then, you know, a lot of things that was brought up, because like certain schools won't lack students because they'll take online courses because they want to get a degree from that school and things of that nature. But with the HBCU, most of the time you go, like it was mentioned,
for the experience.
For the experience. You know, if you have bloodlines, different things of that nature. I mean, so not being able to get the full experience, you know, it's like now for me, going out to eat, like, it's not the same as it used to be. So therefore, I
went out when I was in Nashville last week. I sure the hell did.
I'm saying,
I took barbecue, Larry.
I'm saying,
no, it wasn't barbecue, but I went out with my mom and my sister and some other friends. I went out a couple of times, had breakfast too. Coach K knows. We went to the pancake pantry. Hey man, we were socially distanced. It was like six couples or six tables in the whole damn restaurant. I felt safe. I had plenty of room. I could stretch out.
I mean, but you know, certain things can be compensated. But at the same time, I didn't, you know, attend the HBCU, but I've talked to many people who have and know a lot. I mean, and the experience is key in all, you know, aspects of it. So I hate to see it. Man, it's a lot of different things that's going on right now that just makes you want us to hurry up and get through this as soon as possible. I mean, because a lot of people are being affected, and you know, it's nothing pretty much you can do about it to a degree. So, like I said, it's tough because, like I said, I know a lot of these schools depend on, you know, playing these bigger powers and getting, you know, the meal, two meal to use that towards the school. So it's definitely tough.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to Major League Baseball. Buster Posey, a three-time World Series champ. Still one of the best catchers in baseball. At one time, he was the best catcher in all of baseball. Definitely when it comes to being a hitter and things of that nature. Plenty of times I've hit, batted over 300. The guy can freaking rake. Multiple-time All-Star. He is sitting out Major League Baseball. I think they've had close to about a dozen guys that have announced they're going to opt out. He's the biggest star. Has some twins. Just had some newborn twins that were premature as well. So you can certainly understand his plight there. We saw Buster Posey last week when baseball came back, working out, very serious about it. Look, catching with the mask on. And you see that a lot now with these Major League Baseball teams and other sports. Like, look, if this guy can go out and catch in the heat with a mask on, certainly you can take your butt into the grocery store with a mask on. So your thoughts on Buster Posey, man, sitting this one out, got zero problems with this at all, Derwin?
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the few guys that can do that. I'm pretty sure he's made tons of millions of dollars. You talk about his children, newborn twins. To me, it's a no-brainer because, to play with 60 games and be away from your family for a little bit and just risk bringing something back possibly to your family. Why not? I don't need the money. I can sit at home this season. I can be with my twins and take the time to watch them grow and stay in my own little bubble and be safe.
And he's going to get paid. He's going to get his share. So
yeah,
it's a no-brainer.
Versus me traveling to this city, traveling to that city, back and forth. Yeah, I love the game, but let me pause right now. I don't need the money to do this. Let me stay, spend this time with my family because it's serious out there right now in this field. So let me stay my behind right here, and so I can just be safe and stay and watch my twins grow up.
Can you clear this up for me? Is it you automatically get paid, or you have to have an underlying condition where you can't play is when they do pay you? Now, you can opt out and not get paid because I think David Price is not getting paid. How does that work? Does anybody? I can't remember that fine language in the CBA when it comes to sitting out the season. We need to look that up. Do you know that, Derwin?
I'm not sure, but I'm going back to the money he's made in the past.
Oh, he's made good money.
Yeah, he's made good money. So it's like he doesn't need this year's check. You know, he's good. He could chill and just sit back. He's one of those. Not every ball player can do that. Not all ball players are making the kind of dollars that he's made in the past. So.
Hey, Willie, you look at it. He's got 8-year-old twins, wife, and he and his wife just adopted newborn twins as well. They've some underlying health issues, like we just talked about, premature, just fresh out the NICU. Like, yeah, man, you just got to ride with that, man. There's nothing you can say about that, man. He's making absolutely the correct decision. It's all about him and that Posey family. Your thoughts?
No question. I think he's certainly doing the right thing for his family. And, and it's great to be in a climate where the players can actually do the right things for their families. And these right things that they're acting right or doing right by their family are things that Joe Q. Public would do if he weren't an athlete. So the fact that an athlete in this particular instance can do the same things that Joe Q. Public can do, I think is moving in the right direction. So with that being said, I have no qualms with Buster Posey saying, no, I'm good. And, I'm going to go ahead and sit this one out. And then the other thing too, when you're a catcher, I can say this from my baseball days, catcher is one of the positions that you play that takes a major toll on your body. Major toll. So the fact that he's had some underlying issues, he had a hip issue that he was playing with last year. He had a terrible broken leg. So, we don't know the side effects of those issues that he's gone through and what are the long-term effects of those. And then you have that and you couple that with the pandemic and you also triple that with your newborns. I think he's doing the right thing for sure.
Yeah, I guess I was reading that according to MLB's plan, high-risk players who decide to opt out will receive both full salary and service time, which is important. That's key for baseball on terminology. It's all about service time, so you can get your butt to free agency.
No question.
Players who have high-risk family members may also decide to opt out. This includes Buster Posey right here. MLB would leave it up to teams to make the decision of whether or not they would receive salary or service time. I think the Giants, with what he's done, winning 3 World Series, multiple All-Stars. They'll work something out. He's going to get some money. So
do the right thing.
Do the right thing by Buster Posey, because he's definitely done the right thing by you, helping you win 3 World Series. What was that? 2010, 12, and 14. I think they went every other year during that span. OG, any thoughts on Buster Posey real quickly?
Yeah, I mean, we've touched on this with other players that, NBA players and different things of that nature. And the first thing that comes to mind for me is always your whys and why you do what you do. And I mean, obviously, pros play for the love of the game and different things like that. But at the end of the day, it's to take care of your family, take care of yourself, and take care of your family. And he's definitely put himself in position to be able to do that for a nice period of time. And now, like I said, with having kids and then having adopted the newborns, family first. And I definitely, you can't go against that. You can I don't care how big of a junkie, sports junkie you are, a fan or whatever, but family always comes first, because at the end of the day, they're human beings too.
That's all you got. And we spend a lot of time on a lot of these shows where we take sides. We give our hot takes about issues. We get on these athletes at times. And this is one of those times I wanted to put this in there because it's a no-brainer, but I think we still need to sort of make that audible, get it out there to the public that, we do agree with some of the decisions that they make, a lot of these decisions, and give them, as Renee likes to say, throw them their roses, give them some accolades as well, because Buster Posey deserves this. He's been there for the franchise, been a stalwart in the community. San Francisco Giants pay him for his service time, 60 games, give him his prorated salary, and moving on. And hopefully you can get this vaccine and move forward to the 2021 season and try to win some games out there by the Bay. All right, we're about to wrap up the show, guys, in the next 3 minutes. Let's talk Polk State, the esports section of this tournament. We had a big NBA 2K event yesterday with Polk State College, a university school that's located in between Orlando and Tampa in Lakeland, Florida, had the Final Four of the Xbox that played yesterday, and also the championship game of PS4. So we had those games yesterday, had a couple of winners. It was a really good event. Myself and Renee Montgomery cast at the event. Steve Chow did a good job with a kick punch block. Kevin Mamuzet, of course, back there pushing all the right buttons. Being the constant and professional tournament organizer that he is, you should see him sometimes in Discord. He's funny. Dude, funny. Get on in here, man. I'm throwing you in there. Come on now. Open your mic up.
I'm here. Hey, man, it's a labor of love.
Sometimes it's more labor than love. Most of the time, it's way more labor.
A lot of labor.
A lot of labor for not a lot of love. Sometimes, because people, they look at esports and like, oh, this is cool. Here's $5. Like, damn, that's all we get. OG know what I'm talking about. People love it. It's like, where's the love if you really love it? Hey, that's why that TV component is so important, man. That's why I keep pushing that. Like, look, man, we gotta get that TV component so they can take us seriously.
All they see is the end. That's all they see.
They see E. Oh, this is electronic. This is fake. Okay. Here's some Monopoly money. Yeah, so it was good stuff this past weekend working with Renee. Also coming up today, one more airing on television, Compete Forever, episode 6 this weekend on the Black News Channel nationally. You can catch Black News Channel on Dish Network, Comcast, Xfinity, and also Charter Spectrum as well. Compete Forever, our SUNY Morrisville NBA 2K tournament that we did back in May. It aired this weekend. Yesterday at 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. Eastern. Today at 11 a.m. Eastern already ran, and it's going to run today here in about 3.5 hours at 6 p.m. Eastern time. That's 5 p.m. Central in my hometown of Nashville and also in Chicago in that area. I guess we'll go 3 p.m. on the West Coast where A. Willie's from out there in La La Land. SUNYville.
See it.
SUNY Morrisville NBA 2K tournament. 3 times. Coach K, OG's been on TV, man. I saw his bug on. I was watching this morning. Look at OG talking that talk.
If you know,
OG,
it's a big week for the NBA 2K League as well.
Go ahead, man.
We're going into week 10.
Mm-hmm.
Playoff chase is getting real heavy. Raptors Uprising is obviously number 1 at 12-0. Jazz Gaming is 2 at 9-2. Wizards District Gaming is 8-2 at 3. Kings Guard Gaming is 9-3 at 4.
Where Brooklyn at?
All right, we getting there. Warriors
game.
Warriors gaming squad is 8-3 at 5. Mavs gaming 9-4 at 6. Hornets Venom GT 7-4 at 7. And Nets GC is actually tied at 7-4. And then you have Bucks gaming and T-Wolves gaming at 6-5 to round off the top 10. Tuesday, big games. We play 76ers gaming at 7 p.m.
Ballin'.
We'll be tuning in for sure.
Some games to watch though. Definitely where we can peak is Jazz play Mavs GG, which is 2 top 10 games. Warriors gaming plays Pistons GT, and Hawks Talon plays Wizards District Gaming. So it's a lot of top 10 games going on Tuesday that's going to play heavy. Players of the week candidates is Radiant from 76ers GC, Reds from Bucks GG, Vandy from Grizz Gaming, and OFAB from Celtics Crossover Gaming. Actually, Celtics picked up a win, their first win last week.
I saw that. OFAB and the crew, they beat the Pacers, right?
Yeah, and then Philly, they won both of their games last week too. So we're looking to stop their momentum coming in. We're coming in on a 3-game winning streak. They're coming in on a 2-game winning streak. Okay. So it's definitely going to be some good action on Tuesday. And pretty much my right-hand guy, YL Ancuni, my assistant, he's actually he'll be in New York tomorrow, handling the team hands-on while I'm away. But definitely I expect us to do no different.
Shout out to Wise Got Game. He's all into the NBA 2K. Our Boston 2. What up, guys? Thanks for watching on Twitch. Also, Seb Kennedy 28. Shout out to him, man. He likes that A. William guy. That A. Willie.
That's my guy, Seb.
Everybody likes A. Willie, man. What's up, A. Willie?
Hey, look, Larry, I'm happy that 2 things happened. One thing happened, actually, another one didn't happen.
You woke up this morning. That's a start. Great job, man.
Start. Then the second one is you didn't call me Siobhan. I know we got a couple more minutes. And then you flexed on us.
I did not. Stop it. Dude, I don't do that. Stop it. I did not do that.
I'm kidding.
I know you. I know. I love when you guys make fun of me because I'm always cracking jokes, but I love to laugh at myself too because I do a lot of crazy stuff. Coach K gets to see all of it. The whole damn spectrum, he gets to see all of it. But no, I like to provide people with insight. Like, Coach K and I were literally sitting there like 9 o'clock, like, damn, we got a show tomorrow. I guess we need a guest. And it's like 9 o'clock at night. We're like, what are we gonna do? I don't know, man. You figure it out. He's like, I got stuff to do. You figure it out. It's always on me, so I usually try to figure it out. But I just wanted to put that out there. I guess want people to feel sorry for me. I guess. Any final thoughts before we get out of here, guys?
Interesting week to see what some of these other NCAA, with the college football conferences, what they decide to do.
That is true. ACC and Big 12, SEC. If I'm not mistaken, Larry Scott, Pac-12 commissioner, tested positive for COVID-19. So that just came out. So, yeah, I'm worried, man. Like, look, when the SEC starts sounding the alarm, it's like, okay, we're in trouble. Because they don't care. They're all about that money. They're like, look, we're going to make ESPN is about to give them 6 times the amount of what they're getting from CBS to take it from CBS. That's how you know the SEC. You talk about flexing, A. Willie.
There it is.
They flex like no
Big
other.
bank take little bank.
Dude, like, I want to say this to all of you guys out there. Like, seriously, like, if you ever get a chance, just go watch an SEC football game. You know what I'm talking about. You'll see, I don't care if it's Florida, Alabama, LSU, Auburn, Tennessee, all 100,000 seat stadiums, just pageantry. You can even go to Ole Miss and go to the Grove. And you see these Southern Belles, and you're like, holy cow. You'll fall in love. You'll fall in love with the women. You'll fall in love with the game. It's just, it's a religion down there, dude, and it's in your blood. My school, Middle Tennessee, not a Power 5, got almost 30,000 students, beautiful stadium, great weight room, and just great facilities, and we're not even in the conversation. That's all you need to know about football down south with an F. You know, like I did that football with the down south with an F because the F for football.
Football. Okay. It works out. Let's go.
Any last thoughts from you, OG?
Shout out to Mama Snook and Diddy and our
Snook
sis.
And Diddy.
Yes. Outstanding. Yes. She's staying in some good trouble.
Always
keep it protected, and you know, that's pretty much it.
Shout out to the Curtis family. We're praying for you, bro. Real talk, man.
Yes.
You have our wishes, dude. Our thoughts are with you. We're behind you, brother, and we know your daughter will pull through, man. We're going to be thinking about you, dude, and you reach out to us if you need any damn thing, and I mean that on a very, very serious tone. You need anything, you holler at your brothers.
Gotcha. Will do. Will do.
All right, throw them up the A's, man, for Renee.
Hey,
all right, guys. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching esportsXTRA for Kevin Mamuzet pushing the right buttons. Duran Worrell in Brooklyn. We're Brooklyn 80s in Brooklyn. I just said that. A. Williams down in Dallas. Ivan Curtis flying with them Dayton Flyers. I'm Larry Ridley. We'll see you Wednesday for more esportsXTRA, 7 p.m. Eastern. Have a pleasant Sunday. So long from the Tri-State. Be good, folks.